What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday to everyone. Hopefully everyone's staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test over the last 24 hours, hopefully you were lucky enough to test negative. Time now for a variant proportion update, our every other week update. Now that it's not a weekly thing anymore, from the CDC for the United States. Taking a look at the latest variants, we're going to start off on the national level. We are going to do all variants listed here, and then going into the regional level. The only ones we would do under 1% are the newer variants that we are concerned about, if they should be under 1%. I think almost in all regions now they're above 1%. And XBB115 still hanging on dominant at 53.8%, but barely. You have variant soup going on, which means the combination of all the other variants is eventually going to outweigh that. XBB116 is at 15.1%, XBB191 is at 11.8%, XBB192 is at 6.1%, XBB2.3 is at 4.8%, and now we have an XBB 16.1, which is at 3.9%, XBB151 is at 2.2%, FD.2 is at 1.5%, XBB is at 0.4%, CH1.1 is at 0.2%, and BQ1.1 is at 0.1%. Alright, moving on to our first region: Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont. In this region, you will see XBB15 is 55.5%, XBB191 is 12%, XBB116 is 8.3%, XBB192 is 7.8%, XBB116.1 is 7.1%, XBB2.3 is 6.2%, and XBB151 is 2.6%. Region 2, New Jersey, New York, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. This is an important region because cases are starting to rise in this region. And look at this. XBB15 is at 49.5%, so it's dropped below 50%. All the other variants make up a higher percentage. XBB116, 17%. XBB191, 12.3%. XBB1 9.2 is at 6.8%, XBB2.3 is at 6.3%, XBB116.1 is at 5.2%, and XBB151 is at 2.6%. So this combination is likely why we're starting to see a small increase in hospitalizations in New York City. Region 3, Delaware, District of Columbia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. Another interesting region because Pennsylvania hospitalizations did go slightly higher this week. XBB15, 50%. XBB116, 18.5%. XBB191, 13%. XBB192, 7.3%. XBB2.3, 4.9%. XBB116.1, 3.4%, XBB151, 2.5%. Now we move on to Region 4, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee. In this region, XBB15 is 56.5%, XBB116 is 16%, XBB191 is 11.9%, XBB192 is 5.6%, XBB2.3 is 3.2%, XBB1.16.1 is 3.1%, and XBB151 is 2.7%. Region 5, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, and Wisconsin. In this region, you will see XBB15 at 57.6%, XBB116 at 15.4%, XBB191 at 9.3%, XBB192 at 6%, XBB116.1 at 4.3%, XBB2.3 at 3.5%, and XBB151 at 3.1%. Region 6, Arkansas, Louisiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas. In this region, XBB15 is 56.9%, XBB116 is 15.1%, XBB191 is 10.1%, XBB1 XBB192 is 5.3%, XBB2.3 is 5.1%, XBB1.16.1 is 4.2%, XBB151 at 2.2%. Alright, Region 7, our wild card region, which is Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. For those who have not seen this video before, the reason why we call this the wildcard region is because sometimes the odder variants sometimes tend to do well here, and that continues to be the case. XBB 1.5, 53%. But then, randomly, XBB 191 is still all the way up to 21.9%. No rhyme or reason. That variant's just doing well there. XBB 116, 6.3%, XBB 2.3, 5%, XBB 192, 4.9%, XBB 1.16.1, 4.9%, XBB 151 is at 3%. Region 8, Colorado, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Utah, and Wyoming. XBB15 is at 56.3%, XBB191 is at 13.7%, XBB1.16 is at 9.3%, XBB2.3 is at 8.8%, XBB192 is at 7.4%, XBB116.1 is at 2.3%, and XBB151 is at 1.4%. Region 9, Arizona, California, Hawaii, Nevada, American Samoa, Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, Federated States of Micronesia. XBB15 is at 52.9%, XBB116 is at 13.9%, XBB191 is at 12.8%, XBB192 is at 6.4%, and XBB2.3 is at 5.2%, FD.2 is at 3.9%, XBB 1.16.1 is at 2.8%, and XBB151 is at 1.3%. And finally, we come down to Region 10, Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. And this region, XBB15 is down to 46%. XBB116 is all the way up to 19.5%. XBB191 is at 11.5%. XBB2.3 is at 7.7%. XBB192 is at 6.2%. XBB116.1 is at 5.8%. FD.2 is at 1.3%. And XBB151 is at 1.2%. So definitely, Region 10 is somewhere we have to watch wastewater and hospitalizations to see if we see an increase, especially in Alaska, Idaho, and Oregon, because that's where the lowest value of XBB15 exists, and the newer variants are going up. But mind you, that wonky XBB191 is at 11.5%. Once that shrinks, that should start getting interesting. And XBB116, almost 20% there now, so we may start seeing increases in COVID data, such as cases, hospitalizations, wastewater. So it's something we'll have to watch, and again, we are also closely watching New York City, not only for just these variants, for the possibility of other variants. They don't list that FU variant we've been talking about, which is over in Thailand, and plus, you know, New York State has a history of developing its own variants. It's happened there a couple times. XBB, it's the original XBB15. I think it came from New York, and we do remember the old variants. BA 2.12.1 was it last year? That was New York grown as well. So it's something we have to watch. But anywhere in the United States could potentially develop a variant if the conditions are right. Alrighty, that does it for this week's variant proportion update. We'll have another national variant proportion update, not next week, but the following week. It's every other week now that they do this. We will, though, have a pandemic update later on this afternoon, so stay tuned for that. If you like the content you see on my channel, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button down below. I'll see you all again next time. But until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and thanks for watching.